There they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider Seals to Sam comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Hello and welcome to Talking Trots for yet another week here on Tab Radio. Tomorrow night we're going to be having a look at the Shandon 4-year-old Classic. Really looking forward to that. And importantly, as has been the theme in recent weeks, we've got 10 events up for decision. We'll preview that meeting later on, and we've got an interview coming up. But firstly, a very good and warm welcome to you, Glen.
Yeah, good evening, Hayden, and good evening, listeners. And we've got a very special guest tonight. And as you prefaced the 4-year-old Classic, a Group 3 race, the Hoist Talk Australia Shandon 4-year-old Classic, is chock-a-block for all class horses.
Indeed. We're going to waste no time, Glenn. Let's get straight into today's guest. It's the trainer of Franco Ecuador, who's treading the comeback trail, and he saluted last week.
Has shot about 8-10 metres in front of State of Heaven, Puradua at Astra, Galaxy Warrior, Beleza Nera, the Mickey Taker, and down the outside Might Have Time is running home strongly, but it's a very easy win for Franco Ecuador from State of Heaven. Going to third is the Beleza Nera, I'd say, on the outside, but it's a very comfortable win to Franco Ecuador over State of Heaven. Third got
He's
really
back at the races, and he's back with a bang. Franco Ecuador. His trainer, Kim Prentice, joins us on the line. How are you, Kim?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Hayden. How are you, Glen?
Very good. Thanks, Kim. We appreciate you coming on at late notice. And, the stable is firing. It's a good time to come on because you've got your top-class 4-year-old Franco Ecuador on the comeback trail. And straight in the deep end, I guess, to an extent, because you come up against a very fast beginner, Penny Tiger, tonight, but very impressive last week, Ecuador, and obviously Bunbury first up. The horse had a nice, easy head out last week. Very, very impressive. We've always had a big opinion of him, and it's good to see him back.
Yeah, it is. It's good to have him back, mate. He really surprised me last week. You know, Bunbury was just like a trial, and then to run that time. I know the track was quick the other night, but Mitchell said it felt like track work. He done it so easy. And he pulled up an absolute treat. He pulled up better after last week than he did after Bunbury. So, we put him in knowing that he's going to draw good. And when the noms were there, I was hoping Penny Tiger was going to draw 10 or 11, but there's not enough in it. So, look, he's a horse that's only had 11 starts, but he's an L10, so he's got to race that grade these days. So, we just put him in there and hope for the best.
Kim, what's the process like bringing a horse like him back to the races? Do you have to be conscious of his campaign? Is there anything you do as opposed to another horse that might be up and running? He's had that injury. Does that play on your mind?
It always does, mate. When you get a real nice horse, every time you walk down the back, it's nerve-wracking. But look, I wouldn't say he's not a day-to-day proposition. Hopefully, but his legs are super good at the minute. He's very, very happy horse. He looks magnificent. And look, because he's such a big, heavy horse, we don't bust him at the track. He's barely run a quarter quicker than 28. We just keep it really solid workouts without busting the clock. So, but the plan wasn't to start him this week, but the ease in which he did it last week and the way he pulled up, and I knew he's going to draw good. I thought, we'll go around this week.
Kim, while you got him sound, and he's looking terrific, and obviously those 2 runs have been quite comfortable for him. Understand why you're buttering him up. Obviously, the golden ticket into the Fremantle Cup would be something you'd look at. You're a level 10 horse, but like a Pinjarra Cup, Bunbury Cup, that type of race, if you win one of those, it's a golden ticket. Would that be your aim at this stage?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the way I looked at it, Glenn. I thought, well, if we go around this week and he goes really good again, where he can go to Pinjarra, it's only 10 minutes down the road, beautiful big track. And, if he draws a barrier, we'll be really competitive. And if he doesn't, if he draws really bad, well, we'll just look after him and come back next week. But we'll see how he gets through tomorrow night. But the Pinjarra Cup was definitely in my sight, yeah.
And tomorrow night, the $64,000 question is Penny Tiger. Very quick out, but your horse has got some natural gate speed as well. What's your confidence level there early? I know you referred to it, so it's definitely an issue in everybody's mind, but he's a very classy horse. Barrier 1, 2100 and 30 metres can help that barrier down the back straight. What was your confidence level there of maybe doing enough to hold up?
That's why I gave up driving, Glenn. I leave it up to the drivers.
You're not going to get out of it that easy. What's your gut feeling? Do you think you can do enough?
My gut feeling, Penny Tiger will cross.
Right, okay.
Like I know Mouse was trying to teach him not to sort out the gate all the time and that type of thing, but small field like that. Look, Mitchell said he got out really good last week without even asking him. So, initially we'll come out and we'll ask him to come out. But, for the longevity of the horse, if Penny Tiger crosses, we're happy just to sit on his back and run second and, earn good stake money and not knock him around. So, but if we can hold Penny Tiger, well, it will be game on for sure.
There's not a lot of speed in between Penny Tiger and you, is there? Like Al Capone's likely to just take the sit straight on the rail. So you've only got...
Dow Jones has got good gate speed.
Yeah, well, that was the next question. Do you think you might come out a little positive early just to have a look?
Well, it's the way Robert would want him driven, but, we'll just assess on the night. And, he has got good gate speed, but, I really think we'll just let him come out. If Junior thinks he feels magnificent on the gate, well, we'll come out. But, we'll just wait and see.
Hector on the comeback trail had that break, was in superb form, and then went in that stand where it didn't sort of get the right run, did it? I think You're So Fine led that night. Got caught up between horses down the back when the pace went on. I think they ran a 27-7 quarter down the back, and the Mitch didn't pull out, and then he sort of got held up a little bit late, but probably never went to as good as what he'd gone the previous two starts in that run when he ran seventh, because he was sensational, wasn't he, in those previous two wins?
Yeah, you're dead right, Glenn. He's a really, really hard horse to get a gauge on. He's so lazy at home on the track. He never gets over any other horse. You just got to put the miles into him, and hopefully that, we got a real shock when we took him to the races, what a completely different horse he was. He's been in work for a long time. I think he's right. He's done enough, of the work to do. So I think he'll run a really forward race to tomorrow night. And if he does, he'll be aimed at the Pinjarra Cup as well. Okay.
And the reason for giving him that long break, 11th of August last start, was there a reason?
Yeah, no, he got a small quarter crack, and we just had to play around with that. But he had quite a long time off. Mitchell keeps telling me he's never looked this good. He's a horse because he's really laid back. He always carries a bit of condition. But the last couple of weeks he's come forward leaps and bounds, and if he can jump in front of Luca and Otis, I think he'll run a hell of a race.
I guess this is probably a hard question for you to answer, Kim, because you've got Hector, who's lazy, and Franco Ecuador, who's on the comeback trail. But how do you line the two up?
Franco Ecuador leads up in their work. When we want to give Hector a real good hit out, he doesn't work with Ecuador because we don't, like I said before, we don't bust the clock with him. But it's really, Ecuador's a pretty laid-back horse in track work as well. So, and I really like those type of horses. But Hector, he's so frustrating to drive at the track because he just doesn't care about anything. But my gut feeling says he's pretty close, and I think he'll run a real good race.
Kim, going back to race one, you would have been happy with Lenora Jane first up, driven like Gavin Lang would drive one from the top of the straight. Very, very quiet drive by Mitch. But he got the job done, Gavin Lang style.
Yeah. Look, I said to Mitch, I don't want you to be the first to go. Just set her up and let her get home. And luckily enough, she was good enough. She's a horse that could lead in a race, but I don't think tomorrow night's the race that she's going to lead in. I think if she led her, it'd take a really good filly to get over her. But I just think mentally at the time she's just not strong enough to go and do some work in a race and still finish it off. And it's really early in a long prep. So I think we'll just be driving her sit and sprint again tomorrow night.
Kim, physically, last start, it looked like she had a fair bit to come. Has she improved in terms of looks in just that week and a half?
Yeah, she's tightened up a lot, mate. She's really tightened up good. So we haven't had to do a real lot with her between then and now. And I'm really happy the way she looks.
Was a heat seeker in race 8. Horse racing extremely well, very consistent. I was running into a good one there last start. Last couple of starts, been quite solid company, really. But Lamandier drawn 1 tomorrow night. You're drawn 11. What's your gut there early? Rail or stay in the running line?
I'd be a little bit frightened that if he went to the fence, I'd love to go to the fence if I knew the one would over race and run. Yep. But if it doesn't over race and they box him up and it's a sprint home, we'll be in all sorts. And the owner, Tony, doesn't really like them boxed up. He likes to give them their chance. He's a frustrating horse. He's the opposite. Yep. At home on the track, he'll do anything. And he frustrates the hell out of Mitch and I when he goes to races because he doesn't produce at the races what he does at home. We've kept the work right up to him this week, so it'll be really interesting to see how he goes. I was really disappointed with his last run. It was a 1,200 metre race at Pinjarra and hadn't trained him for it. So, if I knew the one would over race, we'd go through the fence. But if it doesn't, we'll most probably. I think even if we stay in the moving line, we're going to be close enough. I don't think there'll be too many going forward. That's just what I can remember of the race. So, but yeah, he's a really frustrating horse. The opposite way.
Kim, race number 9, Soho Santorini. He's been really good this campaign. Can we expect another forward showing tomorrow?
Yes, I do, but I think he's a run short. He just gave him an easy time after his last run for a week. So I really think he most probably needs the run for tomorrow night. But look, as a young horse, I always thought there was a nice horse there, and Robert stuck with us, and he's proved at this prep that there is a nice horse there. Where he gets from, I don't really know from there. But if he most probably had another real solid week under his belt, we'd most probably come out the gate real hard. But the one's very quick in himself. But it's going to be an interesting race. That.
Stay in the running line, do you think, or more inclined
I think so. Well, if the two stayed off the fence,
which you don't think he would.
We may go to the fence then, but if not, we'll just if he had another run under his belt, because we've kind of come to the idea where when he's in the breeze, he feels like a jumbo, and as soon as he takes the cover on the helmet, he kind of spits a bit out. So if he was another hard run into it, we'd be most probably holding the breeze and staying there.
Very good. Yeah, on paper it looks like October Rain the leader. Maybe What's Up Sunshine, the pattern there was to breeze last week and went good. So the 1-1 probably be available, assuming El Daytona rail. So maybe the 1-1 is logical.
That's the way we kind of plan it.
Okay, you qualified 1, played my boat for the Colts final. You referred to in an earlier conversation that horse is a bit green and it's probably ready to go to the paddock, but you've qualified it, and a barrier draw would help its greenness, I would suggest.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's a real colty little horse, and we changed the gear on him 2 hobble runs before the race, and he was perfect. He didn't pull, didn't hang, and he was absolutely perfect. And then the hobble run leading into the heat, he wanted to get on one rein, and then Mitchell could barely drive him on Tuesday night. Harry still hung on to run 4th, luckily. So we've got a lot of soul searching to do in the next week to try and get him to run truly. But straight after that, he'll be going to the vet and getting gelded, and he'll have a break and come back a really nice little horse.
And keen for the yearling sales coming up very soon.
Yeah,
You've got a few lined up, a few owners lined up.
Well, I've been very busy, so I went and looked at 30 yesterday. I did Cody Charles's and Trevor Lindsay's yesterday. So yep. I'll do Mike Howie's and Steve Johnson's on Saturday, and then sit down and work out where we go, and then spend the weekend up there, and hopefully we can come home with 1 or 2. And
anybody interested can give you a bell if they're interested in getting involved in any of these yearlings that you purchase. Yeah, for sure, Glenn. We always love the yearlings. We've had a lot of success and a lot of joy with them, and I've always liked the young ones coming through for sure. Very good. What's the best, do you think, Friday night? I'd have to say Ecuador, because if Penny Tiger doesn't cross him, well, he should win. But if he does cross him, he should run second. So, but I'm just hoping that Hector can run a hell of a race, because I don't think he's far away. Very good.
Righto. All the best, Kim. Thanks for coming along.
No worries, boys. Thanks for having me.
Good on you.
There's Kim Prentice there. Always really good with his time for us, Glen, and he's got a number of good chances coming up, both tomorrow night. I'm really looking forward to Float My Boat in the Colts final, because it's really inestimable how much work the horse had to do to retain a straight line. He was just so intractable. So he's got a lot of work to do in the next 10 days or so, Kim, but he is a master horseman, so if he can sort him out, he'd be a live chance. Yeah, look, the heats were quite good. Tremendous job. Particularly, I'd have to take my hat off to particularly Ryan Bell. I think he qualified about 6. We'll talk about them a bit later. Yeah. I'm going to play them on.
Okay, yep.
We'll have a look at those heats, and it's always that race night on Tuesday. It's always a great night, but it's my favourite race night of the year, because there are so many unknowns that you get something of a guide into, but not the whole picture, and you've got to jigsaw it together for what happens next Friday.
Yeah, having said that, the trials in the lead-up races were pretty important. If you did your homework, it all worked out pretty solidly with the trial form and the race form. You just had to work in the barriers, take that in consideration. But there was a couple from left field there, I guess, but not so much from left field when you go into it deeply.
Corner of Guildford and Garrett Road. Get into Bayswater Mazda, and they'll sort you out if you require anything to do with cars. We're going to take a break now, Glen.
Yep.
And on the other side, we'll be with Bomber, as we do the Lord Mayor's Cup last Friday. Well, we heard from Justin Prentice, and Tricky Mickey was able to salute up the inside. Didn't pan out probably the way that Justin anticipated, but all's well that ends well, hey?
Tremendous race to watch, wasn't it?
Yep. A packed finish, and Tricky Mickey wears them down in the Group 3.
Trying to get a run, Tricky Mickey. Off the track is Mighty Ronaldo, still running on. Around the turn, Jaws of Lincoln in front. On the outside, Minstrel, Ideal Agent, Mighty Ronaldo, Tricky Mickey, Minstrel. He's just in front. Ideal Agent lunging. Wide out, Mighty Ronaldo. Minstrel's in front. Tricky Mickey flies the pegs. Minstrel just in front. Tricky Mickey absolutely flew up along the inside. Tricky Mickey grabbed the lead on the line and won from Minstrel, and Ideal Agent was very close.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
Danger to Highview Hardy is finishing really strongly. Here's Bull Shark Betty letting go with a really good run. It travelled well throughout, and it raced to the lead now from Highview Hardy, a weakening Stella Delicioso, and then Wicked Lover. But Bull Shark Betty showed a really good turn of foot and raced away after a 29-2 and won easily. Second home, Highview Hardy, and third, Stella Delicioso. And then
Bull Shark Betty let loose with a really strong turn of foot there late to put it to bed rather quickly, racing clear for an easy success. And gee, it seems like Chris Beckett does a great job with his horses. He seems to be able to get the best out of them, that's for
Very
sure.
Experienced horseman, Chris. And over the years, he's had some very, very good horses over the years, and it was great to see. That horse goes so well, 157.2 in that sprint. The riding was on the wall from the trial when Junior circled the field in the trial and did a bit of work and still got a little bit tired late, but that run obviously topped it up. And getting that sit the other night, didn't let loose, top of the straight very impressively indeed in 157.2. Hillview Bondi, Heidi rather, was quite solid in the lead at Stella Deliciosa. Did a bit out of the gate, had to burn a bit, probably just cost it late. But the winner was super impressive, the way it sprinted for a baby.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big race result if Chris gets the money. He's only had one starter in listed or better company, and that was in a Group 3 finishing down the track. So be a good result for the Becketts and the team if Bull Shark Betty can win the Phillies Sales Classic, and there's every indication she'll make a good fist of it based on Tuesday's evidence. We're going to be having a look at the programs now, and our form expert Scott Bomber Hill joins us. How are you, Bomber?
Very well, thanks, Hayden. And yourself?
Yes, going well. Glen Moore's here alongside me as well.
G'day, Bomber. Welcome back.
G'day, Glen. G'day, Glen. Backing up again.
Another good meeting coming up to Shandon. A 4-year-old classic's a good one, and that's the race that sort of sparks the interest. Franco Ecuador with Penny Tiger too. That's very interesting what happens there early, and quite a reasonable program to back everything up.
Yeah, sure is. I think there'll be a bit of value in some of those races that the markets aren't up in just yet. But if we can find the winner in a few of those, we'll be right. But another very good meeting.
Very good.
Let's start off in race number 4, the HTA Rent-A-Gen Pace, 21:30, 7:20 start time. Franco Ecuador undefeated this campaign. He draws 1, 2 Al Capone, 3 Soho Dow Jones, 4 Cordero, 5 Rascal, 6 Penny Tiger, the big pace angle, 7 Classic Choice, and 8 Armour Einstein in the cheap seats. Who wins, Bomber?
I think Penny Tiger, Hayden, he really impressed me first up. He just did everything on the bit. He ran a 27.6 third quarter and did it all solo, and then he was absolutely a tragedy beaten last week, I think, in the Lord Mayor's Cup. He was climbing all over their backs and couldn't find anywhere to go. He's very, very quick off the arm. I think he'll cross Franco Ecuador. He's a nice horse on his own, and he's coming through the classes, but this is the toughest calibre of horse he's met so far. And I think if Penny Tiger can cross him, which I expect him to do, he's going to just be too hard to run down in front.
Was bolting last week, wasn't he, when he ran into trouble and ran out of room? He went really well, and of course the week before you referred to that, the start before you referred to went sensational. So yeah, if he crosses, it'll be hard to beat. Kim Prentice, we just spoke to, as a matter of interest, Bomber. He was a little worried about holding Penny Tiger himself, and he was going to try to, but his gut feeling was he may not be able to.
Yeah, I just think he begins nice enough, Franco Ecuador, but he just doesn't accelerate after that. And I think Penny Tiger, he's brilliant off the arm, and then he can just maintain that into that first turn. And I think that'll just enable him to get across, which will be the deciding factor, obviously.
Confidence levels there?
Yeah, pretty confident. It's a 3-unit bet. The way he went first up, and then last week it was essentially a trial for him, given that he just had no space to work in. And I couldn't have been more impressive with him. He's 2 runs back. I'm pretty keen he leads and wins.
1-800-100-100, the number you need to call if you need some financial help. Stevie Sell will sort you out. Get in and contact him if we don't get a collect tomorrow night, but we're hoping to do that in race number 6, the HTA Access Solutions Pace, 25:03 and 8:21 start time. Standing start. So the first 4 are off the front. Skippy's Delight 12, 2 Lady Prima Donna 16, 3 Navy Street 26, 4 Minor Catastrophe 61. Here's the 10-metre line. Number 5 Luca at 2:05, 6 Otis at 6, 7 American Bullet at 14, 8 Gold Horseshoe 51, 9 Diorce. He's off 10 and he's out to 16. And number 10 Hector's on his lonesome off 20 at $3.20. Who do you like, Bomber?
Yeah, I'm with Hector as well. I know he's got the 20 metres first up, but I think he's a brilliant beginner from the stand, whereas the only 2 horses that could beat him in this field that I can see can be a little bit hit and miss, and that's Luca and Otis. But I thought Hector, if you forget about that run in the marathon when he was right up on pace and just sort of knocked up a bit late there. Before that he beat Street Hawk in these types of conditions, and then he beat a star-studded field in the Nullarbor Consolation. And we think we need a little bit of luck early, but if he can land in front of those other two horses I mentioned, I think he's the one to beat, and we'll be looking pretty if he does get past those two.
The interesting part there is Luke had drawn the inside of 10 metres, which can be a little bit of an issue, perhaps. Like you need to jump, don't you? Like when he was on the outside, he looked a lot more comfortable, put it that way, and he possibly is, getting used to stands anyway, I suspect. But the inside of that 10 metres can be a little bit issue, particularly the 205 odds. I think he'll drift out better than that price based on the fact that he's got a bit of traffic there. If he jumps cleanly, that's fine. But if he happens to miss it a little bit, then the 205 becomes precarious, really.
Yeah, I saw it the same way. I think that can be a real trap, that inside draw, and and he's shown that he's not impeccable from the stand. So I'm just hopeful that him and Otis can be a little bit scratchy, and this bloke Hector can get past him. And like I said, he's shown his class, so loves the conditions. I think he's the right price. Units there? Yeah, 2 units. I'm pretty bullish about his ability. I think I'd love to see him land in front of those other two. That's the only real concern if he does have to work too much. But he did sit in the breeze and beat Street Hawk there 3 starts back. So he's capable. Definitely.
All right, we'll take a further look in just a moment. We're about to go to a break again, though, Glen. And Louis V, he gutsed it out to score. Very bold performance from Control the Room, who pressed him all the way to the post, though.
Very impressive, and great effort by Robbie Williams to get both colts through, both winners. Selected the yearling sales. Tremendous effort by Robbie and all his owners to select those horses.
Yeah, didn't they cause a scene there? I'm not sure if it comes across on the broadcast.
We heard something through Richie, I think.
Okay, good. Yeah, but I was there firsthand, and alongside Shahadi, who won as well on Tuesday.
Yes, big night of that.
There was absolute raucous. So great to see some owners getting involved and enjoying the ride, and it's only going to continue here with this likely type, Louis V.
Control the Room. Getting up on the inside is Float My Boat, and Belly Up is running home just fairly into the outside. Captain Paprika in the straight, though. Louis V's in front. Control the Room is trying very hard, but Louis V's got the lead, and the Williams team are going berserk again downstairs. It's Louis V betting Control the Room, and the Merrymaker ran on for third, 12 metres away. Third in Float My Boat, 2 metres.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
And Copperhead Lady has raced up to hit the front. Jax's Ideal, and also coming through in the middle is Repossession. Crunchy battles on in the straight, though. Copperhead Lady's got the front by about 3 metres. Crunchy tries to fight. Jax's Ideal is on the outside, can do no more, and then Repossession, but Copperhead Lady is coming right away for Symington and Ryan Bell, and Copperhead Lady by 7 metres to Crunchy. 5 metres away, third is Jax's Ideal. And
yeah, there was a little bit of confidence about that horse on Tuesday, just speaking with Kyle Symington in the ring, and you could have easily had something on Copperhead Lady starting at $13. Gee, there was an electric pace, though. Diamonds Are Forever went like a ballistic missile out in front.
Looked like I might have been hitting the cart, definitely over racing, clearly,
but sure.
Hitting the cart, I'd say. Ryan Warwick was helpless to do anything about that. It just went too hard. And hence the time, 1:56.2, the fastest time of all the heats, by a very promising filly Mike Howie bred. Copperhead Lady, just impressive, wasn't she? If you look at the trial, she won the trial nicely, but only ran the 2-2 or so in the trial, but did it with a bit of authority, but then jumped into this race. The pace was on, but she was up on that pace early on out of the gate too. So it was a very, very good effort to sprint like that and win.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how some of those fillies rebound off that, because Copperhead Lady had an okay run, but was still off the pegs in a brutal time. Crunchy was doing all the work.
Yeah, good effort, Crunchy.
And Jax's Ideal, who ran third, was also off the pegs there too.
Chasing that speed was difficult, yeah, and Crunchy did a meritorious job, didn't it?
To see how they go. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to continue on with this preview of Gloucester Park tomorrow night, and now we're going to look at race number 8, the Hoist Talk Australia Pace, 21:30. 9:20 start time 1, Lamondier, $1.85. 2 Acuto 13. 3 Stereophonic 26. 4 Ponte Vivo is out. 5 Disco Under Fire 34. 6 Cowboys and Bandits 8. 7 Star of Willoughby 61. 8 Haywire 51. 9 Street Appeal 151. 10 Tubbs Farquhar 14. 11 Was a Heat Seeker 3. And 12 At a Spoilt Major 23. What do you think happens here, Bomber?
Yeah, I think Le Mondier is the one. Hayden, he drops remarkably in class here, and despite his numerical form, he's going well enough to be too good for these. I think he'll lead, and he simply only has to run up to current form to be too quick for them. I think he's a very good record in front in WA. He recorded 3 wins, a second and a third from 5 attempts, and he only really gets the opportunity to lead when he draws 1 or 2. So I do expect him to capitalise on the draw back to this grade, and I think he'll just lead and win, and I'm pretty happy with the price, to be honest.
Yeah, when you look at the Penny Tiger run, where he sat behind Penny Tiger, 155.3 that night. Tiger Royal ran second outside the leader, but Le Mondier was quite solid, wasn't it? And the run since, it's been, as you've suggested, racing top-class company with no barrier draws to put it in the spot you need to earn. So, yeah, I agree. It's dropping tremendously in class here from the barrier 1. How's your confidence level?
Yeah, very confident. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't lead and win. He's a 3-unit bet. It'd be a shock to me if he got beaten. Like I said, the price is good as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Interesting to note that Tubbs Farquhar's been 19 into 14, and that's pushed Le Mondier 175 out to 185. But I'd suggest that that's probably place money.
I'd say the same.
But it's still elevated the price of Le Mondier.
Yeah, 100%. It's actually Tubbs. He's gone really well. Tubbs actually, I can understand the place support because off the leader's back, it's hard to see him not running home.
Could be an exotics chance.
Definitely, no doubt about that one. Yeah, I think it's place money, and they shorten the win up to go with it, of course.
Well, by that I mean we do the 110.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I think that's what's caused the little market adjustment because they probably banked heavy the place and had something to win as well, and covering the win, and in case it does bob up and beat Le Mondier.
Let's continue on. Race number 10 is the last race we're going to look at, and number 1, Maddie Rocks, gets a barrier here over 2 Ultimate Rocker, who is blessed with speed. 3 Terror in Texas, bit of a class drop now. 4 Tritrid Bang Bang. 5 Luke's Mistake, who flew last start to get up and win. 6 American Duchess is out. 7 Major Corrida steps up after that Bunbury success. 8 Fjord, 9 Alfredi, 10 Here Comes Sharky, who, if he had been able to do enough to lead last week, he would have won because he was an eye-catching second. 11 Amazing American second up, and 12 Pritter, who is first up. Who wins this, Bomber?
Yeah, been waiting for this bloke to find the right race, and he's done it. Terror in Texas, he lands a lovely race and draw here. I think I can see Ultimate Rocker straight to the top, and if Terror in Texas can keep his legs underneath, the front will be there for him. He can just roll on past Ultimate Rocker. He'd be more than happy to take a sit on this horse, and he's been working up to a win. 5th start back from a spell. He ran 57-1 last half, out 3 and 4 deep, and he's just got his hoof right on the till, and I just think he's got the opportunity here to hold his position off the arm and then progress to the front, and if that happens, they won't beat him.
Yeah, he's going really well. Price-wise, what price do you think he'll be? No market up there yet?
Yeah, there's no market. I'm more hopeful than confident, to be honest, Glenn. Yep. I'm sort of loath to suggest what they might open. Yep. I just hope that we get the right price.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It'd probably be a touch of odds on, no doubt. But it depends on how they read it. Like, I'm reading a bit like you. Ultimate Rocker jumps straight there and he gets the lead. Which case, if the bookies are reading it that way, it could open up unders, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, he's not a horse that's overly blessed with gate speed, but there's not a huge amount outside him either. So
should be able to hold those horses, you would think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that's whether the bookies believe that. They might consider that a slight issue early, but look.
Yeah.
Anything around the $1.60, $1.70, I think it'd be about the mark.
Yeah, I think so. And if we can happy to be blessed with a little bit more, if that was the case, but definitely a 3-unit bet to send us home. It does look his race.
Very good.
Multi?
Yeah, 3-legger. I thought the race 1, number 9, Exceptional Armour. I thought just for the place, I thought from the draw, she might just be, that sort of $1.30, $1.35 mark, which will do us into the big price one, which is race 2, number 3, Joey James. I think he can find the pegs and then take a sit here, and he's been going okay, and as long as he can find the front easily and then take a sit without doing any work, I think he can fill a hole at a really big price, and then we'll finish with a win leg in the mare Steno later in the program. I think she's flying, she'll lead, she'll win, only get about $1.26, but 26% is better than nothing.
Sounds good, Bomber. If you get that middle one home for the place, that's going to put a lot of value
interesting. Ira Pool looks like a nice horse.
Well, he's run the 154 and a bit last start. Just good horses time. And you'd expect them to respect that run, wouldn't you, in terms of the time he ran? But that'll be interesting how it plays out underneath him. But obviously the one's got a bit of speed, but I'm sort of with you a bit here. Joey James pretty explosive out of the gate and not a bad option, you're suggesting.
Yeah, if he can get there without doing any work and then just take an easy sit, then that's perfect for him. And, just at the price, he's going to be a massive place price, so he's going to inject some value for us.
No doubt he is.
Righto, best of luck tomorrow night, Bomber. Thanks for that.
You too, guys. Thanks very
Bomber.
much.
That's Scott Bomberhill with his selections for tomorrow night's meeting. Get into Steel Blue if you require any footwear services, built for comfort, made for work. Get in there to Steel Blue and they'll sort you out with a fine pair of boots. They've got the no safety range now, Glen, so no steel cap.
That's good. Nice, easy, lightweight usage. Have you tried them out yet?
No. I prefer the safety, and Denny Roberts needed the safety
horses, you need them.
a couple of weeks ago, Denny had a toenail ripped off by a horse jumping on her foot, so she needed the safety range.
Well, the way you're jumping around in the parade ring too, from one horse to the other, and the sprinting, you've got to find something that's safe, but that you can keep that speed up when you're chasing after those runaways that try and get onto the track before you can get to them.
Yeah, and I'm sure Steel Blue facilitates those demands. Okay, we're going to have a look now at this second heat of the Colts and Geldings. And here it was Hold the Ammo who finished over the top. They've always got a good youngster, don't they, the Warwick team?
Been trialling tremendously well. I managed to have something on it the other night. Just a little bit concerned about the Bond horse getting across to the start, which is what happened, and there was tremendous value. I was pretty happy in the run where Hold the Ammo landed and Denny was in a precarious position, but it went tremendously well. Went in Vegas to flash home and run second to Hold the Ammo.
Yeah, it was a little bit hard in your mouth as to if the horse was going to qualify when in Vegas, just given how awkward the position looked to be. But thankfully for those concerned, they're through to the final and will be a live chance too. But on Tuesday, Hold the Ammo held the lead and the win.
With a really good run, and Where in Vegas gets into the clear as well. It could be too late though. Moving up on the outside strongly is Hold the Ammo. It's raced up and taken the lead. When in Vegas will flash late, battling on is Wicked Hustler, but doing it well as Hold the Ammo. Travelled well, and Hold the Ammo comes away to win. When in Vegas sizzling into second place. Third on the inside, Wicked Hustler.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
Pip needs to respond. Didn't handle the bend just before the bend that well, but comes again strongly now. Better Get On Pip is after Ruby Lou, but Ruby Lou's got the break. Leads by 3 metres. Better Get On Pip can't get there. Winter Wonder steams through on the inside, goes to third, but Ruby Lou does it all the way to beat Better Get On Pip. And third home is Winter Wonder. Fourth, the outside Queen.
Quality heat there, and Ruby Lou led them home after getting away with a lot out in front. It was virtually a dash to the post, and she had the most in reserve to score. And, the price looked reasonably generous a fair way out.
Yeah, there's plenty of money for it too, but they just kept wanting to lay it, didn't they? Probably because of that one run, but it's typical of 2-year-olds sometimes coming off the track previous start, didn't really handle the sprint wide, drew the pole, and of course went back to its best accordingly. Better Get On Pip, yeah, very good. 158.2 outside the leader, just kept coming, and Winter Wonder, it's one that'll probably keep improving. Just sort of got bailed up a little bit late and then got the line quite strongly. I thought the three of those went quite good. And, of course, referred to it early, Ryan Bell, I think he's qualified 6 horses into the finals. A magnificent effort there by Ryan Bell to get 6 through, I think, from memory. Robbie Williams, 2 starts for 2 winners.
Yeah, let's have a listen to that replay now where Robbie took out his second heat.
Okay, around the turn they run. And the leader in the straight, he hasn't moved on it yet. Mr. Moonwalker just gets away by about 4 metres. No run for the better side. Can't get out at the moment. On the outside, battling on is Sharavari. The better side still blocked, and the favourites in front, Mr. Moonwalker. And Mr. Moonwalker has won. Second, I think it is crunch time. Right on the line from Sharavari. No luck, the better side.
Oh, gee, it was a crying shame, wasn't it, really? He's a big, attractive-looking horse, the better side, and he never got out. And as a consequence, he'll miss the final. But Mr. Moonwalker, who improves off his second-place finish the week prior, he zoomed to the front, and he was too good.
Yeah, didn't they go hard early out of the gate, those two as well?
The first 100, they flashed past me, and then they stopped to a dawdle because the first quarter was only 31.
Yes, he stacked them up, and Hayden couldn't get clear running there. He was really travelling in the run, but Robbie knew he was there, I guess, and didn't want to take any risks. But unfortunately for Hayden, even though it was bolting, it never got the run. And Mr. Moonwalker went to the line quite easily at the finish. Didn't open anything up and had it all under control.
That lead time was 0.2 of a second faster than any of the other heats. And given that that's only 121 metres, 0.2 of a second is rather significant.
Very significant. They were feeding him flying, those two. And Hayden was trying to keep his tippy toes in there, couldn't quite do it.
And that was your final heat ahead of next week's final. So a lot will hinge on the barrier draw, and hopefully, I'm not sure if they're going to do it live on the show next week, that Tim and Matt are launching the Often Pacing show. Oliver County will also be a guest on there, so make sure, actually, that's on the Monday, so no, unless they're going to do the field early, no, they won't have it on there.
Right.
Because that show is going to be launching on Monday at 9:30 in the morning if you do want to tune in.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It's great to get that extra coverage. The boys, what's it called, Often Pacing?
Often Pacing.
Yeah, 9:30 a.m, and they'll cover Monday and Tuesdays, which is great. And Oliver County, you know him, Hayden, is coming on board with Matt Young with Tim Walker chairing it, of course. And they'll have a lot of special guests, so should give us great coverage. It'll be interesting to listen to the show just to see how it all goes, for sure.
Retrovision, save an extra 5% every day with Retrovision. Get in, contact Mords. He will sort you out. Country racing coming up this Friday from Albany. Then we roll into Northam on Saturday, Williams Sunday, back to the regularly scheduled program in Monday, Tuesday. Go to Albany on Friday. I've got one for us there, Glen. Race 3, number 1, I Better is the one I'm looking at. 1800, does have good gate speed. Just a question mark over where the horse is at. Hasn't raced for 6 weeks now, but if she's able to bring anywhere close to her best, she'll lead and win.
That's the one I've got my eye on as well. We're on the same page there. Look, the 2 7ths there was excuses for lock wheels in one of them, and the other one was wide down the back when the sprint went on, just didn't suit. But obviously, Ling Edwards given the horse a freshen up, and its previous form was well and truly up to this, and I expect it, even though off that break, to have residual fitness enough to be hard to run down here. I agree. I was pretty keen on it myself. Storm the Beach, another one in the previous race, got a bit of class about it. Storm the Beach probably be shortish, but nice horse. Race 2, number 9, race 3, number 1, I Better. And we've got some newcomers too later on in the program. Michael Young's producing one. La Vista. La Vista, that's the one. Race 4, number 7, and race 4, number 9, Chillin. We know Chillin's racing well, but the query horse is La Vista. Eddie Birchall, I see, owns the horse. Has raced in New South Wales, won 6 races over there. It's an interesting watch. We will have Michael Young on the show tomorrow, and we'll obviously be covering his Gloucester Park starters, but we can ask him a little bit about the Albany runners as well.
Beautifully bred La Vista, so long term, no doubt a breeding prospect, and anything that they can salvage out of it here in the West would be a bonus.
Yeah, it comes here as a level 6, 15,000 win dollars only, so it's on a nice mark. So we'll see how it goes first up, inside back line. So it'll be interesting. The one's quite a quick beginner, Pink Parade normally, so a Bazaar Package is the one we tipped last week. It got the money. It will be charging for the lead though, so there should be plenty of pace on early there.
It's going to be a keenly contested premiership in the training ranks as well. Drivers, Stewie McDonald's got a mortgage over that. He's got it all parcelled up, 20 wins. And the nearest pursuer is Aldo Cortopassi with 11, then Trent Wheeler with 9. The trainers, however, Michael Young's on 14, Hayden Reeves on 13, and then back to Barry Howlett on 9. But it's going to be a close call between those two, Michael and Hayden, and they'll be renewing their rivalry many times throughout the night.
Well, Chasing Hill in, you could just about pencil that one in, the way it's racing in race 5. And, of course, your horse on the back foot went very impressively last start. It also could be very hard to beat. It probably was... We probably won't know what would have happened. Del Boca Vista Bay broke up when it started to join in, but it would have been interesting, but on the back foot did win very comfortably. So my gut feeling is it probably would have done enough to win, but there are varying opinions on that one. So, but both those horses will be good chances. This time on the back foot, drawn outside Del Boca Vista Bay. And I see Michael Young's got the Bayrock Boy there off Peter Anderson, so that's a newcomer to him. But you'd think the two classy ones, drawn 5 and 6, would fight that out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Bayrock Boy, first time out for Michael Young. It's an additional artillery to his arsenal in the premiership ranks, because now he's got 2 hopes of beating Hayden Reeves in that race and chalking up another success. It does look pretty hard for Hayden to get over Michael, though, because he's got Pecunious in the last. Hayden's got a heap in there, but Pecunious has drawn 1.
Yep.
Hayden's got a heap in the stand. Michael Young's got Chasing Hill, as you referenced, and he's got Chillin. So it's going to be a good battle between the two. I'm sure there'll be plenty of friendly fire between the two men.
Yeah, Pecunious went okay, didn't it? Drawn the back line, drawn 1 this time. Big advantage, of course. Didn't do a bad job to run second last start. Sort of loomed up like it was going to win, but just didn't quite get past the leader, and went solidly well. I think they only ran 2-3, but probably if it leads here, looks very hard to beat, doesn't it?
Michael said last week when we talked to him that he couldn't really get a guide on the horse because she just does nothing on the track. So that will no doubt improve her further, and any improvement should see her victorious.
You would have thought so, for sure.
Northern.
Flick over to Northern. Let's have a look.
On Saturday, we've got 6 races only there, but we've got a really good feature in the Village Kids Sprint. $20,000 the purse, and Vegas Strip does look awfully hard to beat in that.
Very hard to beat indeed. Vegas Strip, obviously, the set up there, Louis Lebeau drawn 1. It'll be interesting to see whether they want to hold up with Louis Lebeau with the 1780 if they can hold the lead. You'd imagine they'll want to give it a chance, even though we know Vegas Strip's a very classy horse. The other interesting one out of the gate will be the wild card, Ryan Warwick, very fast beginner. And whether Denny full pelt gets involved with that early burn for the lead, because the wild card will have one ambition there, come out as hard as it can, I would have thought. It's its winning chance. So there could be a lot of speed on there initially, which could, Denny's got options, doesn't necessarily have to get involved in the burn, but I think she'll come out solidly enough to give a look to it. If they're going too hard, she's got options, hasn't she?
One of what I have a look at is race 3, number 1, Sunny Beach. It's my play for the night at a price. Comes up with the gate, not going too badly. Kyle Harper goes on. Don't know if it could do enough to hold the front. If it does, she'd probably give them something to aim at.
In the interview the other day with you, I think it was sort of tipped out as if it led her to run a race that couldn't
Callan said, Ross says if this leads, it'll win.
Yes, I heard that. And it couldn't lead, so you could probably put a line through that part of it. But obviously the intent here would be to hold the lead. Was impressed with Sporting Grace, first run for Callan. Did a bit of work and fought on pretty well at Pinjarra the other day. And Mr. Piccolo's one that's racing extremely well. Keep an eye on Mr. Piccolo here. Things didn't quite work out. It was a very good run last start, Mr. Piccolo. So, yeah, I wouldn't discount it either there. Sporting Grace did impress by breezing, probably uncharacteristically the other day. Not really a breeze horse, but went quite well.
Williams on Sunday as well. Williams Harness Racing Club Cup is the feature. That's time to go at 4:08 on Sunday. A couple I have had a look at here. Race 2, number 1, World Secret. So hard to beat horses out in front around Williams. This horse has gate speed, draws 1, should be winning.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That's one that sort of stuck out to me at first sight. World Secret, maybe State My Case could lead race 1. Got a bit of gate speed, that horse. If it can get across, probably take a bit of running down with Trent Wheeler aboard. If it can get across them early, which got a feeling it's got the gate speed to do that, would be hard to run down. A good solid run again last start in good company. World Secret race 2 as well. What have we got after that?
I'm going to race 5. I think Lil Delight can lead and win race 5.
Yes, a horse that's racing actually quite well. Got the ace draw there. Just looking through now. Yes, barrier 1. Where's the pressure? Trunky French brings on board. Yeah, look, I think it'd probably do enough there to hold up and be hard to run down. And
race 6 is my final one, number 1, Relem.
Yep.
Who is a pretty classy horse when he's right. He is first up, but gate number 1, Williams, has enough speed to hold up, you'd imagine. Be hard to beat.
Yes, I think it could be a pressure race, though. Frankie J. Holden wouldn't give the breeze up last start in Tom company. So you imagine Tommy would be wanting to get up there as early as he can. There's a little bit of gate speed there. The 2 and the 3 could come out solidly early, and when they back off, expect Tommy Shea to be around there terrorising them. Ideal, Tomato. The other one, if they go really hard, you'd imagine he'd be joining in late. And I expect them to go pretty hard here with Frankie J. Holden involved in, I would say, in the breeze position with Relem, the one to run down.
Pinjarra on Monday as well. They've got 9 races there, largely small fields for the afternoon. And back to Gloucester Park next Tuesday, starting at 4:17 again at this stage. And I've got one for us at Gloucester Park. We're going to have to wait till late, though. Race 9, number 1, Dunamis.
Okie doke. Haven't had a look yet. Race 9, number 1, Dunamis. Okay, what have we got there?
Well, I'm just hoping he can do enough to lead, and if he leads, he should be winning.
You got impressive signs. Sometimes a quick beginner.
Yep.
Could be a little issue. Yeah, I'd be comfortable if it did lead. It's been dying out for this draw, hasn't it? It's been coming wide, doesn't suit it. Likes to be up on the pace. So, yep, if it can hold the lead, certainly be hard to beat.
That wraps us up for the week ahead, Glenn.
Yes, just a little bit of housekeeping. Emily Johnson leaving us.
I did hear that, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Good luck to Emily. Yeah, it's sad news that she lost to WA, but the call to home has obviously come for her. So good luck to her in the future. And I think we've got Ram Racing picking up Lavra Joe. I don't know whether that's official, but there was something on the internet about that looming, which is not surprising. Ram Racing have had the conversation with the Lavra Joe connections, and they've been very keen to pick Lavra Joe up. So we got Spirit.
Well, they locked him away really early last year.
Yeah, this year they probably wanted to see how he's working up, and Ray Jones is very keen on the way he's going, and he'll build him up into these big races. We've already locked in Spirit St. Louis and Magnificent Storm. So the interesting watch over east is Grimson. Hot and Treacherous has been doing enough to catch the attention.
Well, it was weird. Last Saturday, he was back 4.20 into $1.30 or something. Expected to win.
Yep.
Didn't do a huge deal, did he? I know you were 153.4 for the mid-trip there, but...
Yeah, that's probably right. But first up, he had the trial where he trialled really well, then jumped into that 2,300 metres. And they can be tough races there, the 2,300. So... Yeah, look, he looked like he was gone halfway up the straight, didn't he? And then he fought back and won. He's always been a horse with a big rap on him. And he came to Australia with that rap on him, and a couple of his runs in Queensland very good, tapered a bit. But now with Grimson, he's a big watch for mine. For a possibility of a slot, Grimson might have other horses in mind, but it's just the current one that's ready to go that they might be interested in. It's got good gate speed, that horse. Would be suited by Gloucester Park, I would say. We'll keep an eye on what's going on there. We've got the Pinjarra Cup coming up soon, so, yeah, it's all good, Hayden. Plenty of excitement around. Tomorrow, I think we may have Kyle Harper on board. along with Michael Young in the Gloucester Park preview.
All right. And what I will say, I was probably being a bit dismissive of Hot and Treacherous. He got very keen there.
Yeah, he did.
And had been nearly 3 weeks between the trial and the race.
Yeah, I think he went pretty good under those circumstances, particularly that trip at Menangle. If you over-race, you're very susceptible, and I'd expect him to keep improving for Jason Grimson.
Yeah, especially when you're running a 27.6 second quarter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got very keen and had the guts to fight on when it looked like it was in trouble. That was the impressive thing. So, yeah, there's a watch there. It'll be interesting to see what the slot holders do. But he's the one I thought from Grimson maybe, but he's got horses coming through all the time, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Plenty of other slot holders will be maybe holding fire until a little bit late. You'd say Minstrel for Bonds at this stage would be the favourite. It's going tremendously well. Another big run last week, but I think they just hold fire until close to the race. They've got options, haven't they? Horses' form can change and you can make the last-minute switch.
Thanks for coming along, Glenn.
Pleasure. The boys are back next week, so that'll be great, and we'll be tuned in this week for sure.
Absolutely. I'll be here to join you next week on Talking Trots. Thanks for your company. Catch you then.